No offense to goldfish.
Goldfish, yeah, possibly. Yeah, sure. Everyone can do it. You don't need any special skills to set this up. It's quick and easy to set up, no comparisons needed. It's very easy to set up, whatever. But don't single out a group of people as potentially not able to set up things because it's technical.
Even though many of us can't. And then you need a teenager or a 20-something to help you
Yes.
figure it out, right? How does my
Yes.
phone work? How do I do this on my phone?
Yes. And you do see a lot of those kind of comments, about having to call your grandchildren for tech support or whatever.
Right. There's a grain of truth.
There's a grain of truth, and yet ageism is a problem. Our new apps are so addictive, you'll want them as much as bacon.
I said they'll be hard to resist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we also have to think about the word addictive, because addiction is a thing that a lot of people struggle with. And, flippantly saying our apps are addictive may be a little too true.
Yeah. I think our new apps are so engaging, you'll hit the pause button on sleep.
It's cute. Yep. I suggested our new apps are so much fun as opposed to so addictive.
Yeah.
Our new
Yeah,
apps are so much fun. You'll want all your friends to play too. Our apps are so much fun. You'll want to play them all the time. You'll keep coming back for more.
Yeah.
Obviously, the idea that everybody wants bacon is problematic for religious reasons. And vegetarian reasons.
Right. I just thought it sounded odd. I've never heard anyone say I want that as much as bacon. I'm hanging out with the wrong people.
Well,
You got to get out more.
It would still be coffee or chocolate.
right. Yeah. So, the assumptions that everybody loves bacon, the assumptions that everybody eats meat, the assumptions that,
That they'll relate to this at
that
all.
people will relate to it, that, that women are bad at technical stuff, that all those sorts of things are, I mean, people are getting better at being aware of those things generally, but especially in the copywriting world, you kind of have to stay on top of it, because you get the pushback of, oh, it's just a joke. Everybody will know it's just a joke. Nobody's going to take it literally. People are so sensitive.
Right.
Well, can I just ask, there's a current example of Regina rebranding itself.
Mm.
Did anybody hear that? I mean, how did that ever get accepted? Did they have an editor? Do you know it?
No,
I saw something
I
about
feel
it,
like
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I heard it, but I've forgotten now.
well, that's good. The tagline, the new brand, the new tagline for branding for tourism was "Show me your Regina."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I mean, you could say it at a bar or something, but would you put it on a big billboard and say this is corporately who the city is?
Yeah.
Tacky.
I think they withdrew it. I think
Yes.
there was that pushback, and they
Yes, they didn't have an editor, I think.
Yeah.
right. Or it was an all-male panel that put it together.
Yeah. But you'd think that would be all the more reason for them not to put it forward.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask a woman if that's okay.
That's right. That's right.
Years and years ago, Australia's tourism board, their big campaign was "Where the bloody hell are you?" they were trying to get more people to come to Australia. So it's like, here's the beach, and we've got this ready, and we've got that, and the barbecue, and we got shrimps on the Barbie, and where the bloody hell are you? Which was cute, but some people found it really offensive to say bloody hell in their slogan.
Yeah.
So it was quite controversial at the time. So yeah, it's really that borderline between humor and insult is getting more and more difficult to walk.
Yeah, even if it's cute and clever, doesn't mean it's effective.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here.
No, but it's true. And it's as an editor, I'm sure you've heard the whole "kill your darlings" thing, right? People fall in love with this really clever turn of phrase they came up with, and they don't want to let it go.
Right.
Even if somebody says, people are going to complain about this. They're like, so let them complain. It's funny.
Mhm.
And yes, I think sometimes people get oversensitive, but on the other hand, sometimes people are very justified in their sensitivities towards certain phrases or words or ideas or stereotypes. So yeah, I think, and it's another thing that translators have to be aware of. What's okay in one language is not always okay in another language. The French use of religious terms as swear words and that sort of thing is, not always, or, if you get something that's from France and people toss around the word merde all the time, like nobody would think twice about it, leaving it out of anything. But if you translate it into English and you start saying shit in your corporate writing, that's a problem. Like you have to know the cultural context.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
You
Go
can
ahead.
you can adapt. Adaptation is a technique in situations. The father kissed his daughter on the mouth or whatever. Like in some cultures that's done, but in our culture it's not, kind of thing. So you adapt the text and you just say he peck on the cheek or something.
But you need that awareness of the of the difference in cultures.
Right.
First of all, you have to be aware that it's normal in that culture that it's coming from, so that it's not meant to be creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes it is meant to be creepy. It's not meant to be creepy, and then you have to figure out what the equivalent would be, the equivalently uncreepy thing would be in the target language.
And still convey the same idea.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, and then it all comes back to your audience again, right? What might work for a limited audience that you actually like, what you can write in a document to people who you personally know, everybody who's going to read it, you can get away with much more probably than you would write to people you've never met, because you don't know how they'll react. So yeah, it's all about the audience again.
Audience, and I guess the context.
And context, yep. What you would write, in a personal email is not what you would write in a company email.
I have to say, in our organization, I feel for our social media staff, all two of them, and they're incredibly careful about it. But every now and then, I just saw them just savaged a couple of weeks ago because they used the word teased and they used the word select. A few people were selected immediately. Why were they selected? Who was selected? Why were the rest of us excluded? I mean, it was just unbelievable to watch. One person actually used the word apartheid to come back at them, and I just thought, holy cow, I would never have just said hi. We're just they put in a teaser and they said they were teasing, and that also freaked everybody out. And then I don't know. Is it anyway, I thought, I'm glad I don't do that. I know thousands of people are seeing this right now and jumping on it.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
freak me
Social
out,
media
because
is
my
such a
stuff-
minefield.
I'm so glad my stuff doesn't reach quite that big an audience. Yeah, that was like frantically bad. I mean, no harm, like really, they didn't say anything, anything bad or controversial, but
Yeah.
some people just took offense at it. Anyway. that
Yeah,
was-
and there are people looking for things to be angry about
Yes.
Yeah.
online for sure.
Yeah, I
Right?
think they were kind of picking a fight.
Yeah, they're
Um,
internet
that'll-
trolls. They're looking for
That'll,
they're
that'll
looking to
teach them
start
to
a
try to
fight.
be fun.
Yeah.
Fun and light. Wow.
Yeah, and it depends on your company, right? Some companies are very conservative about it, like don't put anything controversial, don't smack back at anyone. And then some companies are all in. Like,
Yeah.
you're the social team, you be clever. Whatever blowback happens, go for it. You know, we want to be cutting edge, we want to be funny. That's our personality.
At the beginning of the pandemic, an organization that I volunteered for, I forget the actual what this guy did, but some guy gave the organization a storage space for blah 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 blah.
Mm.
And it was at the very beginning of the pandemic. And I said in a jocular manner, which was in keeping with the tone of the organization. It's in a rural community, and it's, neighbors helping neighbors. And I just said, if you see him, shake his hand. And it was the beginning of the pandemic where you weren't supposed to touch people. And so it went out to about 10,000 people, and I had 1,000 responses, like almost hate mail.
Yeah.
Almost.
Seemed like over the top or something. So we had at the beginning of the pandemic, every time we showed an older photo, like of an event or something, we had to put an explanation. People are not wearing masks here because this was taken before COVID. But I would think that they would figure that out, but I guess we have to clarify it like crazy.
I saw that on a television commercial for Woodbine racetrack.
Yeah.
And it showed or one of the lottery companies or something at a racetrack, and it showed them celebrating, and it said in the fine print, this was actually filmed before the pandemic. So that people wouldn't get up in arms and say, what are these, actors doing?
Yes, you're endangering actors.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's, people are sensitive.
Michelle, do you find do you hit with the plain language that some of it, I am finding that our language is becoming extremely careful. And I work at a place that's always careful anyway, at the best of times.
Right.
But sometimes that is actually really watering down, like it's unclear language, because everyone is so afraid of just saying something straight out that they just add a whole lot of words around. Pussyfoot, and on a lot of stuff, it's not controversial at all. It's just it's just really bland writing with a lot of words, because they're afraid of just saying, hi, you might want to, like we can't say give, we have to say provide to, or provide you with. We're not allowed to give anything. Can you give me that piece of paper? We can't even say that. We have to say, can we provide you with that's paper? Like I just find that sort of over the top, but
I think sometimes people don't
because
understand the difference between sensitive language and clear language.
They'd always, because they said no, give sounds like a handout, and I think, I don't know, when someone just hands me something, I don't think of it as a handout. I think they're just handing me something. But it's just, it's really almost like, but I do find that that's some of where we need the plain language where I work, is just clarifying what we're talking about, and not cloaking it and all this.
But what's helpful for that is the user testing, right? Go to the end users and say, okay, which of these is more clear to you? And then you get evidence on your side, right? Where they say, well, this one just sounds like a lot of gobbledygook. And this other one I understand.
Mhm.
But there's a big concern about offending people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I think, you can be clear without offending people. You don't need to, dance around on tiptoes just to avoid offending people. You can say things that are clear and direct, but not offensive.
It's
harder and it's more work, which is why people do it the other way, right? They don't want to put the effort into actually thinking about what they mean to say.
Mhm.
It's easier just to
Some
speak
habit.
corporatese.
Kind of, there's a bit of
Yeah.
there's a lot
Yeah,
of
there's a lot of habit.
It's organization speak, and everybody
Yeah.
starts to pick it up, and that's how, like, we use I see prior to everywhere in our writing, and happily sit there crossing it out and changing it to before. People
Yeah.
freak out at me about that, but that's not the language we use.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't care.
When was the last time you went up to your kids and said, you
Prior
must do
to-
your homework prior to dinner time?
I will provide you with some help later.
Yes.
Let me provide you with a pen to do that. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it sounds quaint.
If you wouldn't say
Something.
it to anyone, maybe you shouldn't write it either.
Yeah, I find it odd. Anyway.
No, it is odd, and
Long.
it's really
Comic
hard to
relief
break
anyway,
those
talking
habits.
about it. I was just saying it's comic relief talking about it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like my best advice, if you're getting a lot of pushback at work, is to see if you can manage to do some user testing and get evidence. So it's not just you, it's not your opinion against their opinion, right? Because that's where people sort of stand their ground. But when you can get outside evidence that says, look, people found this confusing because they found the language was just didn't say anything to them, didn't mean anything to them, then you might make some progress.
I keep throwing accessibility at them because they're really,
Yes.
we have a really big push on that. And
Yes.
equity. And that's what I go, this needs to be clear to everybody, not just the chosen few. So
Exactly.
we need to figure out a different way of saying this. I just keep throwing that at them. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Small
so
wins.
20 years.
Yeah.
How do I get past provide with?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for providing me with some interesting discussion tonight. So next week we're going to talk about sentence structure, so that should be fun. Always fun to try and discuss sentence structure with editors and translators. But yeah, it'll be a good one. I think that's one of the more interesting topics. So. All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you all in a week.
See everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.